Hey everybody, Pass by PVTV. I want to talk about Honda CRVs, second generation. These are roughly 2003 through 2006. And great car. I love them. Because collecting them. Uh, Most common issues that you're going to have with them are oil leaks. Oil leak off the front, off the vtec, screen valve behind the tensioner, off the back, off the spool valve. There's a gasket screen right there, and your valve cover gasket. You change those three when you buy the car. Change those three gaskets. A lot of videos. I've got videos how to do it, and you'll be, for the most part, oil leak free. What else? When I get one of the cars, I've got it down now where I can pull the intake and flip it back and over and take the front subframe where the radiator goes, loosen up the top and move it out towards you, away from the car and away from the motor, and that will allow you space to go ahead when you pull that intake to get in there and change your starter or rebuild your starter. When I get a car, I take out the starter and I get it rebuilt. If you have any kind of code with your knock sensor, you want to change that while you're in there. While I'm in there, I also go ahead typically and get down and if you remove your coolant reservoir, you're able to go ahead and have really easy access to your alternator. Pull the 3 bolts for your alternator, and I take that into my alternator guy, and typically there's no issues with them whatsoever, except for the bearings. So I have them replace the bearings just to ensure long life on these. The one thing you want to be really careful about is oftentimes talking about leaks. Your power steering pump, the shaft of your power steering pump has a little gasket seal right there, and that will start leaking, and you'll see kind of a little radiating leak come off of that, and that will drip down on top of your alternator. The oil from your engine or from your power steering pump, when that oil gets inside the alternator and gets on the bushings, the bushes, whatever they're called, it'll destroy them, and that will prematurely end your alternator. So get that taken care of right away. There's people that have videos how to go ahead and do that yourself. Relatively straightforward to go ahead and change out those gaskets on that. What else? That's the most common thing I see for these cars. Change your transmission fluid. You know, any transmission fluid that you know is the original Honda. I use Mercon 5. You know, some people use that multi-vehicle grade stuff. Your rear diff, you want to go ahead, if you have one, and do your, whatchamacallit, the dual pump, change out the fluid on that. What else? Shocks. Done lots of different shocks. Spend the money, get the KYBs. Just don't waste your time. You know, spend extra cash, go on Rock Auto, rockauto.com. Get the KYBs, lifetime warranty. Don't forget the plastic dust covers, the little rubber bushing things in there, and your strut mounts, right? That will save you a lot of trouble. The reason I like the KYBs is that they are basically OEM. They're the same as the original ones. And this is important because I got, I don't remember if it was a Monroe or the FCS or somebody else, a different strut, front strut, and it didn't have the mount to go ahead and hold the ABS cable. And so guess what happened? The ABS cable was a little loose, tire rubbed through it, destroyed the cable. I had to go ahead and replace the ABS cable. So save yourself the trouble, and really the ride on the KYBs is just, it's fantastic. It's like brand new. I love them so much. So KYBs, Rock Auto. When you're in there, you're also going to go ahead and want to do your motor mounts. There's 4. There's one on the left, rear, front. The one I typically see the biggest issue is either your passenger side one or the transmission side one on the right hand side. You're facing the vehicle. If you're looking in the vehicle, the one here on your left, on my left, and the one on the right. Those ones are big right there, and that will help with the vibration. If you get vibration when you're at idle, especially when you turn on the air conditioning, to change those motor mounts. You know, that transmission mount right there will make a huge difference for you. You know, more is better. Spend more money. You know, get the kit off Rock Auto. They've got Anchor. They've got another one. They all make a difference, but it helps. What else on these cars? Your bushings on the bottom of suspension. You've got the donut bushings in the back. And you've got the cylinder ones in the front. Same thing. I get mine off Rock Auto. You know, get the higher quality ones, and they'll last forever. They'll last a long time. Some people get the Problem Solver Moog, or Moog, whatever you call it. That is a hard metal one, so it flexes. I haven't installed it on my cars yet, but people say it gives a much firmer ride. I don't know if you're looking for that. You know, what else? We talked about transmissions. Okay, yeah, transmissions. On one of my cars, 2005, it was frustrating because when it was cold and I'd start off and I'd get going, and you know, maybe like 5 blocks from my house, I'd come around the long corner and then go ahead and go put on the gas, and there would be a slow thunk. I'd feel a thunk as the transmission engaged, and that was frustrating. But as the car heated, its transmission oil heated up, it went away. It did it with the original fluid. I changed it to the Mercon fluid, still the same thing. And the other thing that it would do is when I'd come around the corner, right, even if the transmission fluid was hot, I'd come around the corner, and as I'd hit the gas and accelerate, it'd take a second for it to engage, and you feel like a little thunk when you come around there. Initially, my transmission guy's like, oh, it's your motor. I got a new motor for the friggin' car, and it still happened. I go, and he goes, okay, it's the seals. It's the transmission seals. That was it. So I bought a kit off Rock Auto for a couple $100. I got the seals and the friction plates, the steels on itself, the actual seals, not steels. The steels were fine, so all he replaced on that were the friction plates and all the seals on it, and now the car drives like brand new. It's fantastic. So, I mean, that's the majority of my experience with these CRVs. That, like I said, you know, they're great cars. I love them. People ask about putting money into them. If you can learn to wrench on them a little bit yourself, you'll save yourself a lot of money. These cars are relatively easy and straightforward to work on. You don't need very many specialized tools. They're very forgiving, you know, so, you know, look up the videos. You can do a lot of stuff on them and check them out. Other things on this car, really, I mean, that's it. Change the oil and your coolant. Change your coolant. I do 5,000 miles or less on my oil, and then I do the coolant every 3 years or so, and I just put in the Prestone Gold 5-year, whatever it is, and that's really important. Oh, and your brake fluid, you know, do your brake fluid every 3 years or so as well. This is my personal preference. I live in a hotter climate with shorter stops, you know, 15-20 minute drives max, so that's how it goes. Anyways, thanks for watching, and take care and enjoy your second generation Honda CRV. I hope this helps.